What would you do if you spent 25 years trapped inside a tiny cage, used for entertainment until you lost your eyesight and every single tooth, only to be thrown away like an old piece of furniture? That was Chada's life. But don't leave yet, because the ending of her story is something nobody expected. When rescuers first found Chada, it was hard to believe she was still alive. An animal circus had abandoned this elderly bear behind some garages near the city and simply left her there. She was terrified and completely confused. She didn't know where she was, why she had been abandoned, or what was going to happen next. For most of her life, Chada had known nothing but a tiny cage and the constant demands of a circus. She was kept there for 25 years, performing for people until she became too old to be useful. The years of neglect had taken a terrible toll. Her eyesight was severely damaged, and she had lost all of her teeth. And when the circus no longer wanted her, they simply left her behind. We immediately brought Chada to our sanctuary. For the first time in her life, she had a real home. She had her own spacious enclosure, a pool, a brand new den, plenty of room to explore, and even a tire swing. We wanted her to understand one simple thing: you are safe now. But Chada didn't understand that yet. Her body had been rescued, but her mind was still trapped in the past. She would cautiously wander outside for a few moments, looking around nervously, before suddenly rushing back into her den. That little shelter was the only place where she felt protected. Some days, she would spend almost the entire day hiding. And one of the saddest things we saw was Chada gathering mouthfuls of hay and placing them around the entrance of her den. She was literally trying to build herself a tiny wall. It was as if she were saying, "Nothing is getting in here." After 25 years of having no control over her life, hiding was the only way she knew how to feel safe. We knew she needed something more, so we decided to introduce Chada to a few of the other bears. And that's when everything started to change. The first time Chada saw the other bears through the fence, she simply stared. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. Other animals looked like her. They were living freely. They were safe. And for the first time in decades, Chada seemed to realize something incredibly important. She wasn't alone anymore. From that moment on, the frightened old bear slowly began to disappear. And in her place came a completely different Chada. A sassy, stubborn, hilarious granny bear. It was almost like someone had finally switched her personality back on. First came her obsession with water. Chada absolutely loves it. She will search for puddles and soak herself whenever she gets the chance. Even when the weather is freezing, she will still try to find a way to make her own swimming pool. So if we ever can't find Chada, there's one place we check first: the water. Then there's the morning routine. Chada is 25 years old, and she has decided that getting out of bed early is absolutely unnecessary. When she finally crawls out of her den, her fur is sticking out in every direction. She looks like she just woke up after the worst night's sleep imaginable. That's why we started calling her our granny bear. And this granny has no problem telling people exactly what she wants. Her favorite way of getting our attention: splashing us with water. If she's hot, splash. If she wants fresh water, splash. If she simply wants us to know she's in charge, well, splash anyway. After everything she went through, seeing Chada confidently bossing people around is actually one of the sweetest things we've ever seen. But her strangest hobby might be the best one of all. Chada is obsessed with wrestling giant tree branches. She grabs them, rolls around with them, chews on them, and fights them like they're her personal workout equipment. Almost every morning, we find her doing the same thing. It may look ridiculous, but watching her play like that tells us something important. She finally feels comfortable enough to have fun. Sadly, Chada will never be able to return to the wild. After 25 years in captivity, her age, poor eyesight, missing teeth, and fragile health would make life in the wild far too dangerous. The outside world is simply too unpredictable for a bear who has already been through so much. But maybe that's okay, because Chada doesn't need to go back to the wild to have a good life. She already has something she never had before: freedom. She can sleep when she wants. She can swim whenever she wants. She can wrestle giant branches, run around her enclosure, and splash the humans whenever she feels like giving an order. Chada lost 25 years of her life to a circus. But she won't lose the rest of her life to fear. The frightened old bear who once hid behind a wall of hay is now a sassy little grandma who loves water, plays with branches, and seems determined to enjoy every single day she has left. She may never walk through a wild forest again. But here, she has a safe home, people who love her, space to explore, and the freedom to finally be herself. After 25 years of suffering, Chada isn't waiting for her life to begin anymore. She's finally living it.